It's Betsy with Advisor Verified, and I am excited to be here with another lady of insurance who does an amazing job. We have Danielle Hiershe here. And so Danielle, thank you so much for coming in today. And you look so lovely. Yeah, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of let everyone know where you're from?
Yeah, absolutely. So Danielle Hiershe, I have been in insurance for almost 9 years now. Live in Dallas, Texas. Originally from Wisconsin. Everybody loves when I say that, so I'll throw that in there. Uh,
That was I think you might want to say that again. That was impressive.
Wisconsin, right? From Wisconsin.
Love it.
So I am married. My husband's actually in business with me. We've been doing this together for the last 9 years, and we have an awesome 9-year-old daughter.
Oh, so did you start when she was born?
She was in my belly still.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
Props to you. That is intense.
Yes, I actually got my license, did my study course while like my last 2 weeks before she came. Is when I'd studied and took the test. I think I actually took the test about a month after she was born. But I did all my studying stuff like my last couple of weeks of maternity leave when I had to be at home. I was like, well, there's nothing to do.
Why not get an insurance
Why
license?
not get an insurance license?
I love that. Okay, that is mad props there, girl. That's amazing. See,
Thanks. Pregnancy brain and everything. I still passed. Amazing.
okay, wow. Women, I tell you what, women in insurance, we know how to get things done. That is for sure.
Sure will.
All right. Well, okay, that's okay. First of all, right off the bat, that's super impressive. So, congrats to you. So, tell us, share with us a little bit. What was your background before you got into insurance?
Yeah, so I've actually always been in sales or marketing of some kind.
Mhm.
Um, and I started that like 16. I was selling shaved ice at a deer park. And I mean, I work for tips basically, so I've
Okay.
always just loved talking to people, getting people engaged. Come over, talk to me. I'm bubbly. But I've always, what I sold before, I never, like, I've always believed in what I've sold.
Okay.
I've never sold anything that I didn't believe in.
Right.
And so I just got burnt out. I became a manager.
Okay.
So I was doing 60 plus hours a week. I
Mm.
was in Texas heat, sometimes 10, 12 hours a day, doing the marketing. And I like at the different rain, like sporting events and outdoor
Mhm.
events, like that's where we marketed. And
Right.
so, I was just like, man, when I have this baby, I don't want someone else raising her.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't want to be in the Texas heat anymore because I was like,
You know
man,
what? I
everything's like so
understand
much
that.
hotter now that I have a kid.
Yes. Oh my gosh. When you were pregnant, oh my Lord, I think I would have died.
Yes, yes. And the employer that I worked for prior, it really opened my eyes to I'm only another number.
Hmm.
When I was 7 months pregnant, they had me go and set up an entire show,
What?
a 20 by 10-foot booth, tables, tents, everything by myself.
No.
Yes. And I mean, I actually called my husband and he drove over to my show to help me set up
Oh my goodness.
because I was like, I mean, I could hurt my baby.
Yes.
So that's when I was like, is this what I want to do when I'm able to work again? And
Question.
there was no.
Is this the rest of my life? Yeah. I
Is this
think,
who I want to work for? I mean, I was making almost $150,000 a year.
wow.
So it was you know, I need to walk away and make sure I can do that somewhere else.
Right.
Um, but it wasn't the culture, it wasn't the company, it wasn't the right fit for me anymore.
Mhm.
Now that I became a mother.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So how did you find insurance? Like
Great
what led
question.
from that hot day, setting up all of that, like then what led you to insurance?
Yeah, so my husband did.
Oh,
He found this first. He
okay.
actually had his insurance license a few years prior, tried a couple things,
Okay.
and he just wasn't really into a couple of the companies that he was representing and working. They just, it was really the old school insurance model
Okay.
and
Okay.
method,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so he didn't think it was for him, but then one of our good friends introduced us to Symmetry.
Okay.
Have Josh ride down to Houston and look at an interview and an overview.
Okay.
Um, and he just called me. He was like, Danielle, I think this is it. And I wasn't so on board yet, but I was like, okay, I'll get my license. I got 3 months of maternity leave. So let's make some dials and you go help some families and see if this works. And it did. So,
Obviously it did. Okay, I love that. Okay, that is a really awesome story. I feel like there are so many moms out there that could really relate to that and just connect with that story. I mean, that's such a powerful story as a woman, just kind of like saying, "Hey, this is who I am. I've been successful and transitioning into motherhood. It doesn't have to take away from, being a career woman, being successful in, business." But it's okay if we want it to look different. Like
yes.
it's okay if we want to be there for our kids, like I think I love you for being able to share that and that vulnerability and transparency. So thank you so much. I feel like as women sometimes saying, "Oh, I want something different," maybe people will look down on us, but like no, it's we can make choices about what we want and how we want to raise our families, and that can be so powerful once we find the right fit. Because then, like, what is that? I'm sure, like, for your daughter, like, what does that do for her to be able to see you guys thriving in this industry?
She loves our team. She loves our agents. She actually treats them like her own. Like, you're 9. Don't talk to them like that. But no, I mean, like, then our agency loves her because it's grown. We've grown as a family
Yeah.
together. Our agents and our daughter, like, they're family. She actually closed out our speech last February on
Oh,
stage in front of 1,500 people
wow.
and dropped the mic. Like, people, she was in the promo
Wow.
video afterwards, like, they loved it. And so just seeing, like, being more hands-on, her being able to see what we do on a daily basis. Now she's in school, but prior to 5 years old, like, she was in the business with us.
Yeah.
And she still is. She went to Colorado last month for our conference. Um, she loves this, and she's made short-term sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Yeah.
learning that as well, the delayed gratification.
So
Um,
important.
she's seeing her mom can do it all.
Yeah.
And it's brought so much confidence in her, and just seeing, like, how she shows up to her friends, how she shows up on her teams.
Oh,
um I feel that this has been a big influence to that.
oh my goodness. I love that. This is just so inspiring. I mean, this is awesome. I feel like I want to meet her and now she needs to do an interview.
She would love one. She would love one.
Love it. Okay, we're gonna sign her up. I love it.
Your
Okay,
next one.
so tell us, Danielle, what has been one of your most significant moments as an agent over the last 9 years?
I would say one of my most significant moments was our first death claim,
Mm,
and probably everyone since.
wow. Yeah.
um you A lot of people come into this industry
Hmm.
because there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
um
There's
and that's what draws a lot of people's attention.
okay.
But once you find the right fit and the right company,
Hmm.
then sometimes your priorities change. And although I make great money and have since the first year we started, that first death claim, that first client that called us, and it was an older woman
Okay.
who passed away. She was the grandma of the whole family, right? Like, her house was the house everyone went to for all the holidays, every birthday party, like, their
It
house.
was it was the home. It was the center. It was the home. Yeah.
Yes. And her daughter called and remembered talking to me and my husband, because we did a lot of stuff together
Okay.
early days. Um, and was just like, this number was in my mom's folder, and
Oh,
I just want to know, did she have a policy? Like, is this active? And we helped them through the whole process. And they weren't very far from us, so we drove over, helped them fill out all the paperwork, brought
oh,
them flowers and a card. And then once they got the check and it it paid off a nice chunk of that home for them to keep it in the family. They sent us a thank you card.
Oh man.
And it's like that's significant.
Yeah.
That's what this is about, is help. It's not about signing them up or getting them in a plan and getting a commission. It's about when their family needs it, we're
Yeah.
there for them.
Yeah.
And every passing cents, it's just something our whole agency, from us all the way down, we send a card and we send flowers if we don't live close enough to go ourselves.
Wow. That's impactful. That's impactful. Wow.
It matters. That's the only
It
thing that
matters.
matters in this industry.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I think. I love what you said. Like, sure, there's a lot of money in this industry, and that's why a lot of people sure are attracted to it because, hey, it's they're maybe between a rock and a hard place or they need something different. But then something like this happens, and like, oh, this is the real reason. Like, this is
Changes the whole perspective.
everything changes. Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Um, okay, what are some so we're gonna do two questions, okay? So you can
Okay.
decide which one you want to do first, okay? So I want to ask about what are some challenges and what are some victories that you've experienced in your career in the industry. So you can do whichever one you want to first.
Sure. So I think to get to any victories, you have to go through the challenges,
True.
right? So I'll start with challenges.
Okay.
Um, just figuring it out early on, right?
Yes.
Putting in the right amount of activity, because it's not just a cookie cutter, one shoe fits all type of thing.
Right.
The beautiful thing about insurance is there are so many avenues to help families.
Yeah.
There's different ways to market, different ways to market yourself, different ways to accrue, interested clients, or reach out to people that you want to work with you, right? So there's a lot to figure out early on. And I think that that's probably why half the people quit early,
Yeah.
because they don't have either the right mentorship, or they don't have the grit inside them to push through, because the first 6 months to the year, it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's anywhere.
It's true.
I have a friend who's been, a waitress for the last 20 years, right?
Okay.
But it wasn't easy either the first 6 months. Like, I can't go pick up a tray of drinks and bring it to you. I'm very clumsy. That is not something I can do.
I would it would be terrible if I was it would be terrible.
Yes. So, but I bet if I carried that tray for
Mhm.
30 days straight, I could do it.
Right.
Right. And so I think that that's one of the biggest challenges, is just sticking it out and knowing it's okay to reach up when you're not doing okay. And then, like, when you're going, depending on what company you're like, I went for promotions, right? Like,
Right.
and when you miss a promotion, that's such like a,
Oh.
especially when you do pour it all in.
Mhm.
So those are challenges and setbacks, right? When you have someone that you adore on your team and they
Mhm.
leave,
Yeah.
right? That can hurt and punch you in the gut.
Mhm.
And I'm a very empathetic, emotional being. I am.
Okay.
I'm holding back tears right now just because I just like to cry.
We can cry together. I love it.
Um, but so I mean that's a challenge in itself, right? Trying
Yeah.
to take the emotion out of it. So I would say a victory that's come out of some of those challenges is becoming a better record keeper,
Okay.
tracking numbers. Because when you actually put pen to paper and see that, see what's happened, then it helps take the emotion out and
Yeah.
really look at, hey, I didn't do that bad last week. Like, I didn't feel like I did very good because I had 4 people in a row maybe tell me, right? but then when I actually look at it, like, I still help 4 families,
Yeah.
and so I think that in the challenges come those small victories,
Mhm.
leading to a large victory. 1 year ago, me and my husband hit the top level of our company.
Woo, woo, woo.
So
Well, that is a big victory. We
that's
gotta
a big
celebrate that.
victory, right? That's a huge win.
Victory.
But it took a lot of building to that.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
a lot of challenges up until that point, and a lot of self-reflection and
Mhm.
growth.
Yep.
Um, and so I would say, that's definitely one of our biggest victories. We celebrate my daughter again, one of those delayed gratification things. We had I'm from Wisconsin, right? So every summer since she's been born,
Okay.
we've spent 2 to 3 weeks up there visiting
Okay.
family and everything, because what's great about this is you can do it anywhere, right?
Right.
And
Mhm.
so last July was our final qualifying month,
Oh my goodness.
and I had to make the decision that we weren't going to Wisconsin, because that was my unplugged time. Like, I knew that if I went there, we were going to miss.
Right.
And so called the family. They understood because they've
Uh,
seen the hard work over the last 8 years prior to.
Okay, that's huge.
That
That's
was huge. That was a huge
that's
short-term sacrifice.
hmm
And my daughter, I mean, I had her in camps every week in July, and usually she's off, right? So I'm like, and she's like, what is going on? Why? But when I shared with her, when we hit this, your eighth birthday, we're going to spend the week in Disney World. Couple of weeks later, we're going to go to Mexico for a trip that our only top leaders get to go to, but we can't go if I don't make it.
hmm
And we're going to go to Wisconsin for the Thanksgiving week. So we're still not going to miss our trip. It's just delayed.
Right.
And explaining that, and then hitting and celebrating hardcore in August that we
Wow.
hit, and then going to Mexico in September, going to Disney World in October, going to Wisconsin in November. Like,
Totally worth it. Totally
totally
worth
worth it. Right. So, there's always challenges in whatever you do. But if you really look inside,
it.
that's the only way you can overcome them.
I love it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys have achieved a lot. I mean, like hitting the top of the company, that's huge. Like that's massive. All right. So this next question, like so many people, when I ask this question, is like, hey, so the question is, what's your vision for your future? And so many people are like, hey, I want to, get to this top promotion, right? So what is your vision now that you kind of reached that? Like where do you go? What is your vision for, the next 9, 10, 20 years here?
Get get a good handful or more of my team to where we are.
I love that.
I mean, we love our agency owners. We love our directors and our team, our mentors underneath us. Like, some of the people we brought in have mentored us, and that's the great and neat thing about this is um, it's really all walks of life. You learn something every day. There's always something new in this business. You think you've heard every health condition or every objection or every situation, and then tomorrow comes and holy moly, that's a brand new thing to hear. So I look forward to the next 9 years, our agency, quadrupling,
Mm,
um, getting getting 5, 6 more people to where we are, so that their lives and their families' lives can change.
mm.
Um, and just really, the next 9 years is the last 9 years with my daughter being a child.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
just like being present, because
Mm.
I've done so much hard work these last 9 years, I can be a lot more present during those middle school and high school years.
And they need us so much. My boys are both in middle school, and that's like I feel like they need me more than ever to
Yes.
show up and be there for them and be interested. And I have to learn all the crazy boy things. That's a, I did not know that world.
So I'm so good at it, girl. Um, but I mean, it does matter, and showing up, and I mean, really, that is the goal, is to be present.
Yeah,
The growth in our agency, the growth in ourself. I want that to show up for her.
I love that. Well, Danielle, I have enjoyed this so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story. This has been amazing. I hope we can have you back, maybe with your daughter, and we can do like an interview that way. I think that would be
The whole family on. We'll just
the
cram
whole
us all
family. Let's
in the
do
damn box.
it. I mean, because honestly, that's what it's all about. Like we all come in here to build that legacy for our family, and you're not doing it for the future, like you're doing it right now. I think that would just be so powerful for people to see. So anyways, thank you again so much, and we just appreciate all you're doing, and I just wish you all the best for the next 9 years.
Thank you, Betsy. Thanks for having me.
Hey there, thanks so much for watching this episode of Advisor Spotlight. Here at Advisor Verified, we love spotlighting agents all across America as they share their passion for why they love doing what they get to do, protecting you and your family. So be sure to go to advisorverified.com and search for an advisor in your state that you connect with and that you know is licensed, insured, verified.